Hi everyone, Chris Natsky here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. I think we've all heard that Japanese proverb throughout our lives. But have you ever thought about maybe having a little laugh about it along the way? You know, recently I ran into a longtime friend and she informed me that after 5 years after I gifted her my book, Black Belt Leadership, she finally decided to pick it up and read it. So I guess it's better late than never. Thanks, Deb. But anyway, she reminded me of a story that I had written about, which I really hadn't thought about in a long time, that I really think speaks to how we can show up strongly as leaders, particularly when we're not showing up being perfect. When I first moved to Colorado, gosh, now it's almost 25 years ago, I'd never skied before. So we decided as a family we were going to take on the mountain. I had originally not done any type of skiing as an athlete and as a martial artist because I didn't want to injure myself. Plus, growing up in the Midwest, there weren't a lot of great ski resorts out there. So anyway, I embarked on my new physical challenge of getting up on the hill and skiing. And quite honest, I did very, very well in ski school. But what happened is when I started to hit the green runs, life changed. I couldn't stop. I kept falling down. I had little kids flying by me. Wasn't great for my self-esteem. And I kept growing in frustration and anger. And it just wasn't the fun that I thought it was going to be. And that's when I saw my then 5-year-old son, Jason, just a little bit above me, or a little bit below me on the hill. And what I witnessed was just really struck me. He was going down the hill as well. And every time he would go down and fall, he would cry. He would pick himself back up in frustration and let out this noise, and then he'd go down a little bit further and he'd fall again. And I realized that I had been doing the same thing and role modeling that for him. Every time I was falling, every time I was having difficulty, I was demonstrating frustration, and I had actually been giving him permission to do the same. So in some bolt of inspiration, it came to me. I said, well, what if I just start to model imperfection for him? So I got down to the hill and met with him and decided let's go down the hill together. So I went down a little bit further ahead of him, and as soon as he could see me, I went down and I fell. But this time when I fell, I started laughing. And I got back up and went down the hill again and fell again. And now at first I think he thought his dad had lost a marble or something, but after a while he started mimicking the same thing. After a while, he'd go down the hill, he'd fall, and then he'd start to laugh. And pretty soon as we were going down the hill, we were having contests with who could fall in the goofiest way. Well, then something shifted. Pretty soon our balance started to feel better underneath ourselves, and we started to go down the hill together. And next thing you knew, we were both skiing down the hill. And by the time we got to the end of the run, we both looked at each other with a big smile on our face and decided to go back up the hill and do it again. So what does this have to do with leadership? Well, I think it has so much to do with how we show up in the example that we set for those that we lead. I know for years as a leader, as well as a parent, I always thought it was about modeling perfection and infallibility. But what I really found in that example, and I found many times before, is some of the best ways we can show up as a leader is when we are in our imperfection, when we have obstacles, when we are falling, and people are watching us to see how we deal with it. And we get back up, we dust ourselves off, we get back up and go it again. So basically what we're doing is we're modeling that it's okay to fail as long as you get back up. So this week I have a challenge for all of us, myself included, that be vulnerable in front of the people that you lead. When you have mistakes and you're going through difficult times, make sure they see how you deal with that in a really healthy way. And when you do it, make sure you have a chuckle along the way. So, thanks so much for joining me. This is Chris Natsky from Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching, and I'll see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.